Concerns about the highly transmissible Delta variant bringing up the conversation about whether or not the CDC should reenact some of the mask mandates that we saw in the midst of the pandemic. So we want to bring in Dr. Jennifer Pena. She's the Nurx Chief Medical Officer, also former White House medical unit physician for President Obama and Vice President Biden at the time, and Mike Pence. Dr. Pena, it's great to see you. Let's just start with, I guess, your thoughts on the mask debate out right now, whether or not we should see the mask mandate reinstated with the threat of the Delta variant. How do you see this debate right now?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me back. Obviously, it's concerning with the spread of the Delta variant and the fact that at least half of the population still remains without the 2 doses of the vaccination, which we know are highly effective in preventing getting the Delta variant. And if you do get it, preventing severe disease from it. I believe yesterday, LA County has reinstated their mask guidance for public indoor spaces, regardless of vaccination status. And the whole point of that is to protect those who are unvaccinated. And even if you are vaccinated, but you happen to be exposed to children under the age of 12 who can't be vaccinated, or vulnerable people, then that helps protect those close contacts. And so, you can't argue against that, especially as the pace of the spread of the Delta variant continues across the United States. But the most important piece here is for people to get vaccinated and complete their vaccination series.
Doctor, please know that the question I'm about to ask, I'm not nearly as heartless as this is going to sound, and I get it when it comes to children who can't get vaccinated. But why should people who are vaccinated take this effort, this extra step to protect those people who refuse to get vaccinated?
That's a great point, and it's a public health responsibility that we have to take as a country to try to prevent something like what happened last year, where this pandemic got out of control. I agree. Again, it's a personal preference, but it's also a public health measure. I think that for those folks who are fully vaccinated, that does allow them a little bit more liberty. I mean, technically, as long as you're fully vaccinated, the chances of you getting anything like a Delta variant is very low. And again, severe disease even lower. But you do still have the potential to spread disease, even though that's low. And so from a public health measure, it's really just about social responsibility.
Doctor, we had the story in the Journal earlier this week about vaccination sites starting to shut down because the demand for vaccines just simply isn't there yet. When we still have about 30% of the population who hasn't received a shot yet, is it too early for these vaccination sites to close?
I believe so. Just like mask wearing, hand washing, and social distancing were the public health measures that were going to make a difference last year during the height of the pandemic. Now, the way to continue to control this pandemic is through vaccination. We know the vaccinations are highly effective. We know Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and now Moderna are all effective against the Delta variant. And so I believe that we should continue to push for people to get vaccinated and make those readily accessible for people to find and get those shots in arms.
Dr. Pena, great to see you again. Dr. Jennifer Pena, always great to have you. Nurx Chief Medical Officer and former White House medical unit physician.